All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Global Renaissance Podcast. I got two very dope guys with me today. I got Phonse, I got Jordan. How y'all doing, man?
Good, man.
Living.
I'm living good.
I'm glad to hear it. So you guys, like I said, y'all very talented individuals. I really want to get into your creative exploits today. But go ahead and introduce yourselves to those who might not know you.
You want to go first? I'll go first. I don't want to go first. Well, I'm Juiceboy Jordan, and I'm a model, actor, music consultant. Yeah, from Everett. Always repping Everett, Mass. Always.
Dope.
I go by Phonse, baby SK. Afro boy.
Go ahead on the vocals names.
So, you can see me on YouTube, or you could probably catch me on any streaming platform that you have. I consider myself to be an artist all around. I dabble in music, entertainment, acting. I wouldn't say modeling, but I like to create. Like I'm more of a visionary, so just to keep it short and simple. But
that's dope.
You can do it all. He can do it all.
Maybe talk about your creative influences coming up, because obviously both of y'all are, and at least for me, being in creative space, I make music on the side, kind of, sort of, not really, but like I've always had influences, whether it be from church, whether it be from artists that I listen to. Can you guys talk about your creative influences and how you guys got to the point where you're like, you know what, the things that I'm doing, whether it be music, whether it be acting, whether it be modeling, those are the things that I really want to pursue?
I mean, coming from like an African household, and I'm Congolese, so shout out 243. But for me, like honestly, like I think it stemmed from my older brothers actually. Like my oldest brother Joel, he would always put on like classical music and like a lot of neo soul, R&B, like, so I always had like a variety to be a music consultant because I always had a good ear for music, a good feeling for music. My brother would he bought an Akai IMPC, he would play around with it a lot, and on top of that, like I knew for me how like I get my creative process of being a model and stuff. It was never really from like actual models. It was always from like seeing how people like Kanye, Pharrell, Travis Scott, A$AP Rocky, how their fashion sense was, or like that confidence they had, like how different they were, that energy that they just brought. It inspired me so much, and they're like pretty much one of my favorite like artists too. So I knew I wasn't musically like as gifted. Yeah. And I always loved like pictures and modeling and cameras and art and all that stuff, black art, all that other stuff. So like, like I just put like kind of like how I get my pictures from is kind of like I use my influence from music videos and like old like what's called runways that they're on, that Kanye would be on, or like fashion shows he was in. So it kind of like inspired me a lot to like take pictures a certain way, have a certain theme to it, like to express myself, because I know I couldn't express myself with music as much. So that was pretty much for me how it worked. And then as far as acting goes, it was probably like, honestly, I just like seeing a lot of the British actors, bro, like Damson Idris and all of them. I just always thought it was cool, and it's like acting was just, it's like kind of like a branch off of modeling too. Like even with agencies would be acting and modeling, so it's like, why not go for both? So yeah.
I feel you. And Phonse, what about you? What was that process of you discovering like, okay, this music thing, I really want to go for that? What was that like, and who were some of your like influences and inspirations coming up?
I would say ever since I came from Uganda, 2003, I was around my older sisters, my older brothers. They had a whole variety of music, R&B, from Backstreet Boys and Sync. I didn't even think I could sing, actually. I say this all the time. I'm just very audible, and I have a strong ear, so I was just impersonating the things that I would hear back. And me and my sister Immaculate, we started watching SpongeBob at the time. Me, Immaculate, Bernadette. I come from a very big family. One time, SpongeBob was singing the pizza song. And then that's when I started doing it back to my sister, so she thought that it was pretty funny. And she said, wow, no, that was dope. And then I heard Trey Songz for the first time, Chris Brown. So I just used to think the runs and melodies that they did were hilarious to me, in a sense. So I would impersonate them, and I got the attention of my sisters. So they would say, oh, you sound pretty good singing. And then 2018 was really the year that I decided to kind of take things into more of a stern action. And of course, when I was hanging around him a lot more, and he used to tell me, yeah, you should really take it serious. So starting out with music, it really wasn't even supposed to be a thing. It was just one of those where I could be able to just sing pretty much, and I didn't even consider myself a singer. I just thought that I was a ventriloquist. I was a strong person of impersonations. So once I applied the same to music, I took a leap of faith because basketball didn't work out.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
That's how it goes for everybody. We all got failed hoopers.
You know, seriously. Like, I saw basketball I personified basketball as a relationship that I was in. Outside of my immediate family, it was my first love. And then music was kind of the girl that came in and said, you know, if you give me your all, I'll take you where you need to be.
That's dope.
That's fire.
That's dope. Now, how did you guys meet each other?
I mean, we met each other a while ago. I probably said, like, wasn't it on your birthday? Like, years and years ago. It was
2013.
No, it was 2011.
Exact date, but like you said, it was on my birthday.
It was 2011 or 2010 because I remember I was in like 4th grade, 5th grade. It was around then.
No, it was 2013 because I was in 8th grade.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I came in with the big car.
The big car. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was in 8th grade. That means I was in 6th grade then. I was in 6th grade at the time.
So, yeah. At that time, you know, that's when I first met him through a CYO tournament, and he was just, for lack of better terms, the annoying kid who was just always telling me, yo, you're filthy, bro. And for me, you know, this is the time I was 8th grade. I felt like a rock star. You know, like I didn't even have all that much skill, but I was just athletic and super vocal on the court. So he used to come up to me and always give me my kudos. He would just say, yo, you know, no, you have so much tenacity that you play with. You're the best one on the team. And I used to just think, yeah, you know, thanks, bro. And then he would say it again, and I'd be like, all right, I got it, bro. And, you know? So then eventually, like, I started seeing him at the Malden YMCA. Him and his brother that now I call our brother, but, you know. And from there on, we picked up our conversation, started hanging out more. And the dynamic that we have isn't even, like, my boy, my friend, my close. It's just, that's really my brother.
Yeah, it's my brother. It's my older brother.
That's dope. First of all, how old are you guys?
I'm 23.
I'm 20.
Cool. So Jordan, what exactly is a music consultant? Like, what does that mean? What do you do?
A&Ring, it's artist and repertoire. So it's pretty much like, honestly, it's helping them develop more as an artist. So like, it's like, if some things to him sounds like good, but it's not really like coming out the way it's supposed to. I'm like just pretty much advising. It's like being an advisor kind of, and you know, pushing, promoting him more, and you know, taking the leap with him, taking the leap of faith with him. So like, he already knows, like, I'm always here. You feel me? To hear any music, I'm always here to like push it. No, I'll be the number one person to buy it, anything, bro. Yeah. You know.
Follow-up question: what do you not want to do?
This gets mad though. Honestly, bro, what I don't want to do is like, I don't want to like, honestly, being serious, I don't want to live like with any regret. Like knowing like this is me, like being a model, artist, repertoire, like all that other stuff, bro. Like that's me. Like I don't want to like not do that so I can satisfy other people. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, and then just be miserable, like, because that to me that's not being successful. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, so. That's
and
really what it
one
is.
thing I noticed about that, like you stated out the gate, and even when we were talking on the phone before, like one of your influences is Kanye, and Kanye is someone I've looked up to when I think about creativity.
Yeah,
like he's the top, he's the peak, 'cause he's really achieved in so many different areas, and that's something I take inspiration from. Where it's like, okay, he was a producer, but he was like, all right, I'm not staying in this box.
He's not in a box.
I want to make.
I can do whatever I want.
My own music.
Exactly.
But then I want to go from there, and I want to do fashion. I want to design sneakers. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to direct my own music videos. Right. So he never allowed this. Yeah.
Exactly.
He never allowed his creativity to be in a box. And I think
never
if that's your inspiration,
that's my inspiration.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. And you guys maybe speak on a time. Was there ever a time where you guys were kind of, you know, in y'all process, maybe you were working on some music, y'all just kind of had a creative difference in terms of like you from your position, you're like, all right, well, you might have to do this in order to get some reach, and you're just like, yo, this is my music. Like, what are you talking about? Has that ever happened before?
Honestly, I don't think it's really happened. Like, it's never like, to be honest, like.
Probably not to the degree that everybody else would see.
Yeah.
It's happened, but it's not
like
in
crazy.
In the example that you gave, because I would say, you know, usually, if I make a song, for example, for the EP that I recently did, which is Chicago meets Phonse, there was some songs on there. Of course, you'd say, no, all of these slap, but this one's really it. This is the one that I mess with more, or I like the creative direction, or just not even creative. I should say the authentic direction that you went in. 'Cause, you know, one thing that Jordan really tells me I execute well enough, which is what I've been peaking for, is to be able to get you to visualize what I'm talking about.
Yes.
You know, it's one thing if you can hear what a person's saying, but if you can also see it, it's gonna generate more feeling, and it's gonna make you appreciate the music more. Kind of
seeing is believing. Seeing is feeling, bro. That's something like. But at the end of the day, music is emotion. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, some people don't see it that way, but it is. It's supposed to bring you back to how you felt about something. So
music to me, I should say, the older that I'm getting, I start to see music as a time machine.
It is.
Yo, I was dead about to say that. I was dead about to say that. I have been saying this for years, because you know when you listen to a song, you might like, all right, it's 2012. Like, what came out? Good Kid, Mad City came out in 2012, right? I remember listening to that album. I could play it right now, and I will feel the exact feeling I felt
back
as a
then,
13-year-old 8th grader. Like that's crazy that you just said that.
No, it's for real, yeah.
And like that's why like I think Kanye, bro, for me personally is my GOAT. You feel me? Like,
oh, same.
Because, bro, like, I don't know, listening to like 808s and stuff, it took me back, even like I was in like second or third grade, but it took me back to that time, like how like I remember like I was always young, but since I had older brothers and I was around him, a lot of old people, like I was very like in tune. You feel me, with a lot of things. I was very sharp in like room with other people, in big rooms with other people. So like I knew how to go about things. And like I remember that time period when 808s came out. Like I remember a lot of people didn't really like Kanye like that. Like they didn't like the sound of it. But I remember like listening to it, I was like, this is gonna be the future sound. Like I just remember it. And then later on, it was the future sound, bro. The 808, the drums, everyone uses 808s, like all that stuff. So it's crazy. And I remember the feeling of like when it came out, like when Heartless came out, it was such a big thing. Like even when I listen to Heartless now, it just reminds me of that old time. Like, dang, I remember that. So
Music has so much power. Now, Phonse, I want you to talk to me about your most recent EP that you dropped. I know you dropped 2 last year, but I want you to talk about the most recent one, because I was talking to Nelly, who's like our mutual friend, and I didn't even notice this when I was listening to it. The titles of the song titles like spell out a sentence. I didn't even peep that at all when I was listening to it. So can you talk to me just about the process specifically of creating this body of work?
So when I made Chigabo Meets Phonse, I knew I was telling Jordan that I have something in my head that I want to execute to be one of the most creative things I've ever done before. And Jordan knows me best, where I'm a person of execution. I do not talk anymore. I just do. So with this one, I said, I've been in that conflicting duality of, you know, African culture, Americanized culture, pop culture, so many cultures that I'm intertwining with. And even my dad was telling me a while ago, he goes, he supports me in my music journey, both of my parents. So he was saying, you know, if you want to get very far, I was about to impersonate him. If you want to get very far, you need to be able to mix both your language and with whatever career that you're doing, so people can see your authenticity. People can know where you come from. You know, your music speaks for your background. You don't have to really say it. I don't have to present myself as Ugandan. You just see by the language that I have in my music. You can see by the title of the EP. It's gonna make you question. Oh my gosh, you know, like, what is that? Where's that from? I've never heard that word before in my life. You know. And with this one, I consider Chigabo. So by Ugandan culture, I don't want to get too deep into it, but that's my tribal name. That's my identification. You know, a lot of people would say Africans love to be different, but we love to be identified. You know, we stand for our name. Our name is literally our identity. It's our soul.
It's our pride.
And even in slavery times, that's what they used to try to beat black people out. All the Africans. So I'm just fortunate enough for that. And I was feeling that this is my higher self, which is Chigabo, trying to meet my reality as of me transitioning into this nuance of artist, of somebody who's trying to put themselves out there. And I'm usually, you know, I can blend in with the social crowd. I can hang with myself, but I'm definitely like, this is gonna be a contradiction. I'm an extroverted introvert, you know? Yeah. Like I'm a very outgoing introvert. I can just be by myself. So when it comes to really putting myself in the spotlight, of course I can optimize on the attention in the spotlight that I'm getting. And with this project, I wanted people to really see that, yo, I'm trying to take y'all into what my reality is right now. And I love how you brought up the track list, because not a lot of people are going to see that it's set up in chronological order to send a message that that's my higher self talking to my present self. And if you pay attention to how the tracks are set up, it's a storyline. It's a storyline that explains how I went from, you know, I was having my complications within my love life. Of course, everybody's going to do that, you know? And it's not even at a specific time, I should say, within my love life, but it's just, I felt it was always the general synopsis of my love life. That the track list, the way it's set up, that was the message that I always was dealing with, you know? Especially when you give your all to a person. I mentioned that before, that I personified music to be a woman who told me, if you give me your all, I'll take you to the promised land.
Man, that's some deep stuff. So just for anyone who, obviously you might not, I'm going to link everything in the description of the video. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and give it a subscribe. I'm going to have you guys tags on there, and we'll get to that at the end. But if you don't have it in front of you right now, the track list goes, their intro in this, I See is the second track. Then you got You Wanna. The fourth track is Take. 5 is Over Me. And then you got an outro. So, like, describe what that sentence means to you in essence.
I see you want to take over me. What it means to me is I was facing the confliction of my higher self, clearly, now that I'm starting to get more in tune with my roots and I'm studying my culture and I'm really getting involved and invested, I should say. Not even involved. Invested and involved are two different things, but I'm getting more invested. I have to choose which greater good am I going to give it to?
Yeah.
You know? Is it going to be where my higher self is going to tell me, any single time that you're down on your luck, I'm always within you, as opposed to, you know, I'm always having my complications within my love life. And it's so easy to escape that because, you know, to get a little bit more vulnerable and more open, it's just so much easier to kind of use other people for an escape, as sad as that sounds to say. But I'll be honest and I'll be open with it. You know, I've had instances, and of course I was using someone else, somebody was using me for the same exact way. And it doesn't even have to be for finances. Yeah. It could be using somebody for your energy. Yeah. It could be using somebody for knowledge. It could be whatever it is at that time, whatever hardship you're going through. So me being so quick to just say like, oh, you know, like I'm feeling such a connection with this girl, and I'm so invested now. But I see towards the end of it that it really wasn't what I thought, and you just want to take over me. You just want to have me to yourself. You weren't really infatuated with me. You just wanted to possess me. You know? Yeah. Because that's what it comes down to. And oftentimes when you're so overwhelmed with the feelings, you oversee that. So with that entire project, I kind of brought two of my biggest problems into one, and I didn't want to spoon feed it to the listener. I wanted people to really take time to digest and see how this craftsmanship was done and set up. That it wasn't by coincidence. I just didn't wake up one morning and say, yeah, you think I'm going to just bullet point this. Yeah. And even with the intro talks about it. I took a thing from Roots where Kunta Kinte was being held up to the stars, and he was saying that, behold, the greatest thing, the thing that's the only thing that's greater than you in this world, right? And those are his ancestors. And then towards the end, which is the outro, is my dad giving my lineage from my greatest grandfather all the way down to me.
Man, so you guys really seem to have a strong sense of like you were saying, your family name means a lot, like that sense of identity. Jordan, can you talk about how that has, you know, kind of progressed, how you've come to realize that and use it to motivate you or drive you or whatever?
Oh yeah, most definitely, all the time. Like being Congolese, we have a lot of pride, that's just how we are. Like, you know, like that's who we are. Like I know who I am. I'm just saying, like I think that's why like people mistake, like what did you say, the mistake with Africans, they say like, oh, they're trying to be different. This is really who we are. Like Nigerians, they're the same way. Ugandans, I'm Congolese, like Sierra Leone, all of us, we're all like that because we know our background, we know where we come from. When you know like really where you're from and all that, like your history and stuff, it's like no one's gonna tell you nothing. You know what I'm trying to say? No one's gonna tell you anything about yourself, who you are. Like I know my parents, I know their stories. I never even met my grandparents, but I heard stories my dad and mom would tell me, my aunts and uncles. So it's like, you know, it makes me who I am. It made me who I am today a lot. It gave me that confidence, to be honest. Like being Congolese. That's why I put it everywhere. I put my flag everywhere. Even when some pictures I take, I try to go traditional with it. Try to go back to the roots with it, because that's just who I am. I think it is who I am. You know, so you know, it's definitely affected me a lot, and for the good. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Can you talk to me about maybe like whether it be like a shoot you did, one that you were just really like, this maybe your favorite one, right? And I'm gonna ask you the same thing about maybe a song you made, but do you have like a favorite shoot where you just like the concept behind it, the way it came out, everything was just
the shoot that I personally like did myself?
Either you was taking the concept, you were in it, like
that's just tough. I'm not gonna. That's tough because there's a lot. Like most pictures that I do, like most shoots I do is like my concept, you know. Like, but ones that involve other people, it's not really like my concept. But like, if I had to say singular, like off my concept, I'd probably say, it has to be between the one with me and you, we were in the
in Belmont.
And Belmont, yeah, the one we were in the picture where we look like we're like in Africa. Either that one or definitely personally one of my favorite ones. Like I came up with the concept was what I do with my homegirl Sadie. And I like impersonated the Weeknd's video from Rolling Stone, and I put it. It's like exactly how I wanted it. Like I impersonated the video, like how like the girl was standing up, I was sitting down, and like I just put it into a picture, you know. And then on top of that, I impersonated it too. That same shoot, like Big Sean and Janaiko's 2088. Like the whole ambience of it, the whole concept of it. Like I made sure it was like that, and it came out the exact way. The lighting, everything, like. So I was proud of myself when I did that. Like, but ones I could say that was grouped up, definitely the diaspora one, with the second diaspora one, but with I had the Congolese flag around my, you know, my waist, and it was all of us standing. That was my favorite one, like grouped up, because it's just like I love to see like growing up, I didn't really get to grow up with like other Africans as much. Like I never got to go to school with other Africans as much. Like. You know, so like just to be like with different countries and stuff, it's like, you know, it feels like home. It just feels like home. Like it feels like I can finally be with people, you know, like I can relate with like fully, you know. So like, yeah, I'd probably say that was my favorite one as a group.
That's dope. That's dope. And then Phonse, do you have like a favorite either song or project that you put together over the years where you're just like, this one, it might have been the most recent one, or anything where you're just like, man, this one really came together in a way where from the time I conceived of the vision to the execution, everything was just, I really, really messed with it?
In terms of visual, it's between Monte Cristo and Messages.
Stuff.
Yeah. Monte Cristo was extremely simple. It was simplistic. And a lot of people probably think it's just some sort of horror movie remake. Messages executed everything that I wanted to a T. Especially the second part of it. So that was 10 out of 10. I would say in terms of songs, my favorite song right now that I've made is probably Unreleased, which is I call No Control, because I was able to hop back into my personifications bag. And when you listen to the song, it's not what you think I'm talking about. So it was able to speak for me in a time where I was younger and I felt I didn't have the right words nor the right emotional intelligence to convey how I was feeling.
That's important. Both of you guys, through your work, you're expressing different parts of yourself. What have y'all learned about yourselves over the years that you have found important to the work that you put out?
That's a great question, actually. What have I learned about myself?
I've learned authenticity sells.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Lot. Not even just in terms of product, but in terms of person. People love if you can be as authentic as possible, you know? And of course, not everybody deserves to see the real side of you, the full authentic side of you. But you kind of have to take things with a grain of salt. You know, you pace yourself. Everybody you meet, you kind of got to feel them out and see what their intentions is, because you can come across a lot of cats that have ulterior motives.
Yeah.
So I figured to myself, if I'm not feeling, you know, the energy in a room, and I feel like, I can't even say anyone, but, you know, as me and Jordan really are, we're very clairvoyant people, where, in a sense, like, we see things before they happen. And at least for me, I'll play cool, you know. I'll play real cool, even if I'm not picking up the vibe from somebody that, essentially, you know, energy doesn't lie.
Yeah.
It never
Your
lies.
intuition is always going to be with you, and it's your emotional compass to tell you, you know, whether to be your authentic self or whether to be your neutral self.
Mm-hmm.
You know, really just be a spectator rather than an instigator, rather than a person who's a participant. Sometimes you just got to sit back and
Just watch.
Yeah, and just watch. So I've learned pace myself with my authenticity a whole lot. Through this, like, aside from even just music.
Yeah.
Again, I've came across a lot of cats tell me, like, I could put you on with this person, I could do this. But sometimes they're just stroking their ego.
Yeah, I don't even like when people say that. Like, I don't like, you know, I don't doubt it, but I don't get too high on my high about it or too low on my low. Just okay, cool. You feel me? Like, if he does, if you don't do it, then okay. You feel me? Like, that's fine. Like, I'm not gonna be butthurt about it, be on your back, like, oh, what happened to this and that. Like, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not expecting anything. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I'm not expecting anything from no one besides as long as I know myself, bro, I'm fine. Like, I always keep it authentic, even with my pictures, like the way I edit things, because for a while, honestly, pretty much all my pictures, I edit all my pictures, Photoshop, like, I do whatever, bro. You feel me? Sometimes I take it on my brother John's camera. Yeah, it's pretty much it. I just keep it authentic. I've been doing the way I've been, like, editing pictures and, like, trying out new concepts, drawing up new concepts. Like, I put in a book and all that, like, you know, like, and putting my own spin to it, my own creativity on it, on things. You know, I've been doing that for a while. You know, it's not even like this has been, like, just now. Like, I've been doing, like, this for a while. This is me. You feel me? This is how I get my creativity out. You know, I just express me, what I like my favorite videos and stuff. Like I said, like, with my pictures, music videos is, like, one of the biggest things to me. That's why I love directors. Like, I love people like Kanye and, like, Pharrell and, like, Hype Williams, like Director X. Like, those people, like, are dope to me. So even A$AP Rocky, J. Cole too, like, when he be doing his own thing. So I just love concepts. I love different directions. I love things that, like, throw people off. Like, I like that, bro. Even, like, Tyler, the Creator, a lot. Like, he throws a lot of people off with a lot of things that he does. So it's like, it's just funny. It's funny to see, but it's different. Like,
what are you guys like? What do you value? One thing I'm sure anybody who's listening to this is gonna hear this from you guys. But one, you guys are very insightful. For being 23 and 20 years old, you guys are very insightful. You're very reflective. You seem to not just be moving through life, because a lot what I've noticed over my 23 years of life is that most people kind of move through life and they're not really active participants in their own life. They're kind of just letting life happen to them. You guys aren't like that. You're very reflective. I can see it in your mind. Your minds are working. So what are the things that you guys value the most within your own lives and about the world?
I look, you want to start it off, but you can go.
For me,
I want to put the right words. That's why.
For me, I value family.
I was gonna say that too.
Family time a lot, or just family in general. I value laughter. I love to laugh.
Present moment.
Definitely being in the present moment. I love to laugh. I love bonding with people. I love being, you know,
most
those
definitely
in-person interactions where I get to just have that authentic interaction with someone. And I know that's really been the word of the podcast, authenticity. But it's critical, like, you know, in this day and age where people are on social media a whole lot, ironically, we're not as connected as we think we are.
Yeah.
So we find ourselves that we're worried about what this person's doing and comparing ourselves so heavily. And, you know, at a time where my mental health was not really the best, I took a lot of time off of social media, and I'm still off it, and I'm fine. I'm doing great. I'm focused on the things that matter. When I'm in conversations with people, I'm in conversations with people.
Yeah.
I'm not 1 foot in, 1 foot out. My intention
not lukewarm with it.
Oh, wait, did I shoot that DM back to that old person? Or, damn, I wonder what this person's story is saying. I don't worry about that.
Yeah.
I want a person to know you have my full and undivided attention. I'm a person of substance, and I believe I'm preparing myself right now to get to a point where I'm going to be at such a pedestal where it's going to filter out all of the bogus conversations I don't need to have.
Yeah, that's real.
You know, my place in life speaks for itself, so you know when you approach me, speak with purpose.
Yeah, some value
Talk
to
me
it.
with some value.
Yeah.
You know, you have to say something to me that you know is going to contribute to the
Because, like, I'm not going to lie, like, I don't like wasting my time. Like, You know, like you can get money back, you can go, you just can't get time back.
Facts.
So it's like, bro, like, you know, kind of just don't be bullshit with me. So it's like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, keep it straightforward, like, whatever. Like, tell me what your motive is, bro. And even if you don't, I can still see your motive, bro. I can see it through a lot of people, so.
Yeah. Lastly, I would say that I'm very big on creating memories with people.
Yeah.
Very much, to be honest. I love that the most. Like, there's some people who even at the Polo G concert, I remember their names. I know they weren't Bell Record. But, yeah, we were just in the trenches getting pushed around. And, you know, I couldn't even record because my phone died anymore.
I lost my shoe.
He was all the way in the back. He was all the way in the back, like, screaming. He's like, yo, Phonse. And he was waving his hand up like this. Like, those are memories I couldn't even put a price on.
Yeah, like, you'll always remember that night.
Literally, that is the only thing that I can take with me into the afterlife. And there was this wise saying from, I forgot who, maybe it was Eckhart Tolle. The things that you can see are temporary. The things you can't are permanent.
Yeah.
So memories will die with you.
Always.
Forever. You got to make sure every bond, every interaction, you do it to the fullest. You're in that present moment because that's all that really matters. That's
Yeah,
what I value.
that concert was fun. That concert was crazy. That night was crazy. I lost my shoe. I'll never forget that night.
Like, I can look back to all the memories in my phone, but I still can't get the same feeling. It's a replica. Like,
yeah.
You know?
I think that's important. Like you said, there's such an irony in the fact that we live in the highest time of connectivity where, ironically, we're really not that connected with each other. Like, yes, I could see your post, but what you're posting even you for real?
Yeah.
Right? Like, social media is a highlight tape. I'm only gonna post what I want you to see on here.
That's real. He says it all the time. He said people always do that. Like,
people
they just
only
want
show the side of themselves that they want you to see for 10 seconds.
Exactly.
And that's as long as their attention span is.
Exactly. And I think that's an important thing where, you know, this phrase goes back but real recognize real, where it's like, you know, even with your music, like the first time I heard your EP, I was like, one, smack sing, but two, it's like there's a rawness and a realness that you can't fake.
Yeah.
You cannot fake real. And so I think that's the most important thing. One of the things that I value the most, I know I'm asking the questions here, but I'm going to answer my own question. One of the things I value the most is collaboration. That's why I love this podcast, because I get to get other creative minds, people who are really thinking about the impact they're having on the world. Because at the end of the day, like, we're communal beings. We're here together. Whether we want to acknowledge it or not, we're here together. So what I do may indirectly impact you. What you do may indirectly impact me. But to know that y'all are doing something that has value, and I'm able to kind of because I'm gonna leave this a better person from hearing y'all conversations, and that's something I really appreciate and enjoy. But you seem very, like, I don't want to say well read, but you seem very knowledgeable. Would you say you read a lot? Do you study a lot? Who are the people you study in terms of, like, you're getting this intellect? I know both of you guys have, you know, you guys got your family that you're kind of learning from, but who are the other people that you're learning from? I kind of asked this earlier, you know, with your influences, but who are the people you're, like, studying where, like, this person got information that I'm applying to my life on a consistent basis?
Definitely. And not even, like, say just because of him, I'm not going to lie. Like, I'd say, like, I have a list of people, like, I study a lot. Nipsey Hussle. Big Sean for sure. That's someone who's I really study a lot. I watch all his interviews. Kanye, Phonse, my older brothers, my mom, even my dad. Like, you know, that's pretty much. Yeah. There's more. There's definitely a couple more, but I don't want to get too in depth with it. Gotcha. And, like, he even got me into, like, reading a lot at a time period. He would always, like, dish it out to me, like, oh, you should read this and that. Like, it was summer 2018. Like, I think I was 17 at that time. I just turned 17 at that time. And I would kind of, like, I would listen to him. I would hear him, but I wasn't really, like, listening. Yeah. You know, like, I would hear him, though, like, and be like, and he would tell me, he's like, well, I'm telling you, when you reach to, like, 19, 20, bro, like, I'm telling you, bro, it's going to be different. Like, boom, here I am. And, like, the book that he dished, like, the book he was talking about, I ended up reading, and I'm not gonna lie, it brought me to tears even reading it.
What was the book?
I have it, actually. I carry it everywhere.
Everybody go get yourself a copy.
Like, I even left it off, like, where I'm at. So, the New Earth
by Eckhart Tolle.
That's dope.
For real.
Yeah, I keep it everywhere. I bring it everywhere I go.
You can tag me in, right?
Yeah.
From that part. But yeah, Eckhart Tolle, he was a monumental person, and this is just from indirect impact. That 2017, Jordan knows, is a really bad time for me. You know, unfortunately, I suffered at the loss of my late brother, but it got me through it. It got me through it. It put me in a position where I knew I can't blame the world. I'm gonna just fall into a statistic at that. You know, just another angry black kid. And I don't even really consider myself to be black. Like, that's the funny part. Like, I consider myself to be African, but I know I would have been more misunderstood on a higher level at that. So I had two options, whether to cry about it or to correct it. I wanted more for myself. So Eckhart Tolle, Rhonda Bryce, Jim Quick, so many authors that I could go off. Joshua Forrest, so many more. Earl Nightingale is definitely somebody that I listen to, and I switched around what I consume too, because a lot of people take for granted the capabilities of their mind and the things that you see from a day to day. You know, so I switched that around. Lately, it's been Neville Goddard. So many influential people. Oh my God, I lost the saying. But influential people, and as you even said too, like surrounding yourself around with creatives to follow up on what you said, like being around the people that we met recently, you know, starting five is what we like to call them, you know, call ourselves, I should say. Shout out to my boy Johnson, Calvin, Joseph. They're all creative people.
Can't forget Paul.
And Paul too.
Can't forget
Yes.
Paul.
And
Paul
I'm
in the back. He's always in the back.
He's
The
always
back
there
work.
too.
So I like Paul.
I'm wearing it.
So
Paul. This is another person who he does his own, like he engineers. Paul makes like cozy archives. This is his t-shirt. I love it.
Fire.
I love everything about it.
Fire, man.
Joseph as well. He just has such a creative mindset, and he's a visionary. Like he sees things on such a different platform. Kelvin has the self-discipline like through the roof too. You know,
his fitness,
even taking pictures and fitness as well.
His fitness is crazy.
Johnson's just super
overall.
He's so persistent with everything that he does. Like he can. I believe like he can pick up anything that he wants to do. Yeah. And he'll just stay consistent at it because until the results show themselves, you know. And that's just me speaking highly on the people that I'm surrounding myself with. But that's what comes down with. Like my father used to always tell me, you know, present to me the 5 people you hang out with, and I'll tell you who you are. Yeah, you know, it's real. A lion can't be a lion around 5 sheep. Facts. You can't. So it's true. It just comes down to that. I had to take a whole lot of sacrifice, and I had to have some introspective conversations with myself. And a lot of people say knowledge is power, but I believe putting that knowledge into practice is power. Applying really apply it, because we can talk about ideas, we can talk about how we see society and how this person does that and it's crazy they be hating on me when I do this, but you're just gonna be no different from the same person who's talking about it on the stoop next door. You really got to do it. And people have such a hard time with change because we love comfortability. We love being in our comfort zone. But most growth happens when you're just uncomfortable to the point that you want to give up. It's so unbearable. So unbearable. And there's just been so many tests of time that I've been put in that. So essentially, I don't even like to consider myself deep, spiritual, et cetera, because I know, like very insightful. A lot of people add so many narratives to that, and then I feel boxed in like I'm supposed to be some guru, some omen. But I've just been through a whole lot of experiences that forced me
to change,
literally, to correct my reality, because I didn't want to be another statistic. That's just
because like it's funny enough, like he's the one who even told me this too. He was like, we're having a heart-to-heart conversation one time. He was like, you gotta really like look at it like when is enough gonna be enough? You know what I'm trying to say? Like you don't want to just stay in that same box, and like it's true, you know, like you like figure it out. You feel me? You gotta figure it out, bro. And like the way how he taught me how to figure it out was maybe more like reading and stuff. And like when I picked up that book, it definitely like changed a lot. I definitely changed a lot. I wouldn't even say changed a lot, but like just became more of who I am more. So
that's important.
Got back to reality.
And I think what you said, like you don't want to consider yourself someone that's deep, but I think there is a distinction to be made, because there are a lot of people who go through a lot of stuff, but they don't learn from it. And I think that's the difference, right? You decided that, all right, I'm not going to allow this situation to conquer me. I'm going to take something from it, and I'm going to grow. And I think that's the most important part about life. You can't control what happens to you. It just is what it is.
It is what it is.
And you're either going to learn from it or you're not.
Everything happens.
I look at things, you either get what you want or you get what you need. But you have to have a level of discernment in order to figure out what this moment was trying to teach you. So I think that's very important. You guys have amazing influences, and I'm sure you guys are going to be people of a significant influence. So with that being said, what kind of impact do you want to leave on the people who come in contact with you and your work?
I definitely want to, like, for me and my work, I want to inspire the next African kid. I want to say, like, I want them to know, like, bro, like, even if you're like, I won't even say African American. I say, like, even if you're an African kid who grew up in an African household in America, I want to say, like, you know, like, just like you don't need to like be a doctor, a lawyer all the time. Like, be who you are. You know how it is, bro. Being African, like be who you are at the end of the day, and like, you know, I want them to know, like, just never quit. You feel me? Never quit, never let up, bro. Like, you know, like, the marathon continues, bro. Like, it's everyone's path is different at the end of the day, bro. Like, even if you see your older siblings, your cousins, even if they're graduating before you or doing anything before you, like, you still have, it's at the end of the day, it's your own path. Like, create your own destiny. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, parents are gonna do that for you and leave a legacy. I just want to leave a legacy behind millions, you know, like millions, bro, not just thousands. It's like, why can't I leave around millions? I'll say that to like a lot of people around here, and they'll look at you crazy, like, oh, he's just saying just to say, but I really mean it. And I genuinely really mean it. Like, it's possible. Other people have done it. Why can't I do it?
Facts.
You know.
Facts.
So like, that's how I look at it.
For me, I would say I always wanted to leave an impact on people where they have more to think about themselves. I just wanted them to think in a more retrospective way, that you just want more for yourself.
Yeah.
I always wanted to avoid being that person to come off like, oh, yo, you know, like, we'll call him Big Bro and he'll just be this person.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Because I'm still figuring myself out, you know.
Yeah.
I don't pull up in a Rolls Royce Cullinan.
Facts.
You know, at least not yet, but but you know, like, and I know that's how people pay attention, is with results.
Yeah.
People take you more serious when you have the results. If I had $10 million in my bank account, if I told you to put your hand underneath your armpit 10 times, you can make money. They'll do it.
Facts.
They'll do it. That's the only way that people can sit down and concisely retain the information you're telling them. As opposed to that, you know, when I come across with people just now within my day-to-day, if you really sit down and you get to have a one-on-one intellectual conversation with me, I want you to want more for yourself. That's it. And I want you to believe in yourself. I want you to feel that, yo, regardless of whatever social barrier, whatever family barrier, like he said, I want to speak to the kids, because kids in our demographic, coming from, you know, and I'm not a first-generation American. I was born in Uganda, so I came here.
Yeah.
I want to speak for kids who are like that. When you came here and you had to figure it out. Some kids come here and they don't even know the verbal language of English. They have to learn that through music. Same way for me. I've been saying recently, I'm learning Yoruba. I'm Ugandan, but I'm learning Yoruba through listening to Burna Boy.
Pigeon. I've been learning a lot of pigeon.
You know? Yeah. So it's like I want them to look at that and say, wow, no, that's actually crazy, because I feel that he's speaking from a side of the story that no one ever highlights, you know? Like, because I can sit here and try to connect with the kid from Roxbury or from the kid from Harlem, New York, and talk about gang this, trap that, but that's not my reality.
Not me.
That's not how I grew up. You know? My parents, if it wasn't doctor, lawyer, engineer, you know, like, if it wasn't that, they didn't really want to have a conversation. And once they saw that, you know, 2018, I said, all right, I served my due diligence, I'm done with school. They thought I was kidding. And this is something I got kicked out for. Like, this is my life. I don't need to go on social media and talk about, yo, because people usually just show the good sides of social media. Like, oh, you know, I just got, you know, $200 out of nowhere in my bank account. But no one ever talks about the hardships that they face. Like, no one really wants to hear that, oh, my parents kicked me out because I didn't want to go to school. And they were like, I was serious, and they saw that I was serious, and I was standing on what I was saying. I was ready to sacrifice what I had to. For them to, if that's what made them give me my respect, okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Of course, I would love for it to be in another way, and granted, our relationship is in a way better place. But, you know,
that's what it is.
Want more for yourself. Really, really take that leap of faith. Bet on yourself. There's no reason as to why you can't.
Gamble, bro.
There's no reason as to why you can't. There's absolutely no reason. And I have to reiterate that 3 times. It's just like, it's so common for people to be so down on themselves. Everybody finds it much easier to be around a person if you didn't think so highly of yourself.
Facts.
And people perceive you to be arrogant. People perceive you to be so like, oh,
Kanye.
Who is this guy? Literally, right? If I just say, yeah, you know, I want to be the greatest recording artist ever, or I want to be richer than Bill Gates, they're going to laugh at you. But if I say I'm going to be broker than the next dude at McDonald's, yup, sure as hell you are. You know? Like, which is weird.
Facts.
But
it's I don't even like to say weird, which is strange. It's sad. It's sad. So the impact that I just want to have on people with everything that I said collectively, think more and want more for yourself.
That's real. And like I said, even the whole thing, like watching the Kanye documentary, when he said the over the confident part, when he said that, he said like how do you say? He said like, I don't know why this world, like they make it, they say like overconfidence like a bad word. Like it shouldn't be a bad word to be overconfident, to just be very confident. It's like what do you say? Like it's like people are like it's like they're programming us to like be down on ourselves more. You feel me? It's like it shouldn't be like that. You know what I'm saying? It should be like, why can't I? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why can't I do this and that? Why can't I, like, you feel me? If A, you know, Africans, if A can do it, why can't B can do it? You feel me? Like, it's like these people come from worse circumstances too. You know what I'm trying to say? Financial circumstances, and they're there. You feel me? They're financially where they want to be at. They inspire a lot, millions around the world. So why can't I do it? You feel me? There's no reasons why I can't do it. So that's how I look at it, bro.
Nah, you're literally the only obstacle anybody has is themselves, right?
Yeah.
You have control of yourself, and you are your only obstacle. So, man, this has been an amazing conversation. I appreciate both of y'all for coming through, giving us this knowledge, giving us information. Where can people find you guys, your work? I know you're not really on socials like that, but where can people at least tap in with your music and what you got going on?
For me, you can find me on YouTube, the number 4onzii, on any streaming platform that you have as well. Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Google Play. It's all there.
Yeah. You can find me on Instagram, Juiceboy Jordan. So you're going to drop that there. So
yeah, we're going to get that
Twitter, all that.
For sure. Make sure y'all tap in with them. Again, appreciate you guys for coming on. If you like the episode, make sure you, again, if you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, leave a 5-star review. Hopefully you liked it and enjoy it. You can follow me on Instagram at _TrevWoods. I'm on Twitter and TikTok under the same name. Make sure you tap in with them. All of their links are going to be in the description. This has been another episode. Y'all be easy. I'll catch you on the next one.
Always.